international chess professionals converge in St. Louis for the 2017 Spring Chess Classic. The third day of the 2017 Spring Chess Classic saw Grandmaster Jeffery Xiong emerge atop the leaderboard in Group A. We'll be joined by Jeffery Xiong today to talk about his victory, and also a Group C competitor for the first time, Illya Nyzhnyk. The 2017 Spring Chess Classic features a combined prize fund of more than 50 grand. Win the top prize in Group A, that will get you $6,000. $4,000 is the prize for Group B, and the top prize for Group C is $5,000. That's because Group C is actually stronger than Group B. Group A, to my left right here, 16-year-old Jeffery Xiong, Grandmaster who is the World Junior Chess Champion, and right now he's sitting at the top of the group. Jeffery, congratulations today in your victory as white over Giorgi Kacheishvili. I'd like you to go over the game for us and show us some of the more memorable points.
He took queen takes, rook c8. I was thinking maybe here he could try this move queen f6 to attack on b2. And I was playing to castle, he takes rook a b1 for example. And maybe just queen a3, and the problem for him is he has this weak d pawn, and probably I'll win this pawn, but we'll get some 4 versus 3 endgame and he has some drawing chances. But in the game he opted for rook c8, and after castles, I think now it was already very difficult to save one of these pawns, because I mean, if he protects like queen e7, I think I can just take on b5, and it's going to be a clear pawn up. So in the game he tried this idea, knight b4 takes and a5, and his idea was try to move his bishop, so and hope that he has these open files and some activity, and hope it's enough for the pawn. But in the end I don't think it's enough, because after knight b3 I didn't see a better way for him than bishop e6, and then I takes everything. Here maybe his best chance was bishop takes a2, and I was going to play knight c6 takes rook a2 and try to hold this position, probably something like g6, and I'm up a pawn, but again it's black still has some drawing chances, because in the game he basically allowed me to keep both pawns. So now I'm just up 2 pawns, and it's not clear whether or not he can really generate some play against my f2 pawn, because my knight is dominating his rook, so his rook can't really get into the game. So I thought it was just 2 pawns up, and he tried to put his bishop on a4, but I don't think it led to much. So I played bishop e4 with threatening knight f3, so he had to move this knight. And then here it was a bit bizarre moment. We repeated, and I think he should have just gone back, and then I would probably have to go with the other rook, rook a2, and something like maybe rook c5 here or rook c3, and I still have to show some technique. But in the game he played this move rook b6, which just gave me some at least 2 extra tempos. So now I play rook c1, and I threatened to invade this position, and eventually it was quite simple. So here unfortunately king d8 doesn't work for him, because I take and knight d6 looks like a fork, but I believe rook f4 holds everything, and g5 rook f6, there's a pin here so he can't take on e4. And then in the game he tried to play it like this, but I found a way to take his pawn, and then rook f5 was important, and the idea is now if he tries to take on e3, it's just a mate, bishop f7 and rook h5, And meanwhile, I threaten rook g5 simply. So if he tries some move like knight f6, it's also just mate rook g5 and knight f5. So I think he found the only way to prevent mate, which was h6, stopping rook g5, and now the idea is if bishop f7, he goes king h7, and there's no mate. But now I have this idea bishop e4, which threatens some discoveries, and really there's no way out because his only square available is h7, but that doesn't do anything. So the game finished knight takes e3 and rook takes b5, and he resigned in view of king f7, rook b6. If rook takes d4, I just give a check and I'm up in exchange and 3 pawns. So he played, I mean, if he has to try it to take on f1, but here I can even keep my extra piece, but with bishop g6 and king f8, knight f5, and here he can't defend against my 2 threats, rook b8 mate and king takes f1. So he just resigned after rook takes b5.
Well, very cool, Jeffrey. Congratulations on the victory once again. What are your thoughts so far? Any general thoughts on the format of the Spring Classic?
Yeah, I think it's a very nice event, especially with this extra group. I think the spectators get a lot of action, so when you have this many games, there's bound to be some exciting games. So I think it's a really nice format change.
Do you see yourself winning the field?
I think it's early to say. All these guys are quite strong, so it's quite an open event, but yeah, that's my goal, to win.
Well, it was great having you, Jeffrey. Thank you very much. The World Junior Champion, maybe one of the favorites to win Group A. Let's take a look at the standings after 3 rounds. Like Jeffrey said, it's still early, and even though he's in the lead, it's only by a half a point. And look at the log jam after Jeffery Xiong. 8 players tied at 1.5. Tomorrow, Xiong has the black pieces against Grandmaster Yaro Zerobuk, one of the competitors in this year's U.S. Championship. As we glance at Group B, Christian Kurilla and Awonder Liang won their games today to stay at the top of the leaderboard. Tomorrow's game of the day will undoubtedly be Awonder Liang with the black pieces taking on Brazilian Grandmaster Alexander Fear. And now for the first time we come to Group C, the oddball group, the 6-player double round robin. I'm sitting here with Illya Nyzhnyk, the Ukrainian Grandmaster, and he has just defeated Andrey Stukopin with the black pieces. Congratulations on your victory.
Thank you very much.
You said you were surprised out of the opening.
Oh, yeah, correct. Andrey chose rather rare line in Caracan. He played knight d2 on a forced move. I'm not really sure what that line is called, but it's pretty rare. I didn't see it that often. And I had to pretty much play from a scratch, honestly, because not gonna lie, I didn't know that line. But after the game, he told me that everything I've done was the main line, so I guess I figured it out. If I saw this move bishop g5, I would have given myself an exclamation mark for the knight c2, but unfortunately I didn't see bishop g5, and that's what my opponent was very afraid of. He said that after bishop g5, all of a sudden this idea with bishop e3 check and bishop takes d4, white cannot really protect themselves from it. Let's say king h1, bishop e3, and let's say white takes on a6, I can just play queen b5, and I would take on d4 in the next move. So it really surprises me because I didn't see this over the board, but my opponent told me that it's just very bad for white. So I guess, I mean, he spent a lot of time here after he played knight c2, so I guess he calculated everything very well. So I'm not gonna double check it. And yeah, but in fact, after rook 1 to a4, I was planning to play knight e3, which is very bad for me, and play knight d1, queen takes d1. I would save the piece because now I can just take on c5, but instead I would have lost the a6 pawn, and my position would still be very bad, unlike the position after bishop to g5. So during the game, I can't really say I played well this game, actually, it's not over yet. But I mean, my opponent was just so afraid of this bishop g5 after rook a4 that he decided to go for a piece sacrifice after knight e6, which appeared to be incorrect. I'll show you the rest of the game, but my opponent lost pretty quickly. So now queen e7, knight takes e1, rook takes a1. So now the point is that if I don't do anything, this whole all these central pawns are gonna get moving, opening up the c3 bishop, and I might have some problems with my king all of a sudden. So now I have to quickly do something about it. So I decided to give my exchange back and go to this position instead. So here, I'm not really sure what my opponent could do differently, but I'm not sure about the move he was the moves he was making. Probably it was because of the time pressure, although I didn't really see the better alternative for him. So here, the alternative to what he did, he played h3, which is probably losing on the spot after queen takes e4. But here, I thought that maybe playing rook g1 right away would have prolonged the game a little bit further, because now if I just take on e4, white would take on a6. Actually, yeah, taking on e4 is not good, because now I'm not even I'll probably still win a pawn eventually, but I can do it easier by taking on e5 first. Queen takes a6, queen takes e4. So here, I mean, I'm up a pawn, and white's rook on g1 is extremely passive, so I think this might still be winning for me. I'll probably just get the c pawn moving, get it to c2, and eventually queen. That's what I was thinking my opponent would do, but he didn't. He played h3 instead. Here, I took on e4, and here, probably because of time pressure, my opponent. Actually, I'm not even sure if it was the time pressure. He played queen f3, which blunders the second pawn after rook e1 check. Rook takes, king h2, queen takes e5. But I'm not really sure if there was something better he could do here. Once again, the rook g1, now rook g1 loses immediately because of rook e3. It's a nice one. Queen a6 and rook takes h3, checkmate. So another move here would be queen g3, which also loses on the spot because of the same rook e3, queen to h2, rook e1 check. And now I actually get trade queens. And the pawn endgame is winning for me, because I'm up a pawn and my king is way closer to this pawn. So I will eventually take the e5 pawn as well. So here, yeah, my opponent played queen f3. This position is probably lost already. So he just decided to give it a try and try to save this queen endgame. But unfortunately, I just have way too many pawns to play with. So I eventually was able to finish the game. Now, just to show you the rest of it here, the only challenge in this position is that I have to watch out for perpetual checks and not lose my A and C pawns at the same time. But I think I've found a way to make it work. So now queen d3. I'm now actually losing my c6 pawn if he checks. But the thing is that here my a pawn promotes, and a3 followed by a2 and a1 queen. So that was my game. I mean, I can't really say that I played it well, but yeah, at the end everything worked out. I guess I just got a little bit lucky, but yeah, that's me. All right.
Well, and that's you wearing a Webster University jacket. I'm telling you, these guys at Webster, you can always tell a Webster Gorlock because they're always walking around in those stylish jackets. What's going on next with Susan Polgar's Gorlocks?
I'm not really sure. I don't think we have anything planned, but I mean, obviously one of the most important events for Webster's chess team is Pan American Intercollegiate Tournament, and as well as Final Four. But that will be in like almost half a year, so we're still preparing very hard for that event. But I mean, we've got a lot of time to work with, so we will try our best to get ourselves ready for those 2 events and do our best. And our players also play individually. They play in a lot of tournaments, and I personally plan to play in a lot of tournaments in summer, such as World Open, US Open, etc. So I'll be going around the US playing, and hopefully I can improve my quality of chess so that I can see moves like Bishop G5 in the future. It's a very easy move, but yeah, I didn't see it over the board, so I really have to work on that.
Well, congratulations on your point today, Illya.
Thank you very much.
Grandmaster Illya Nyzhnyk. Let's take a look now at standings for Group C after their 4th round. In the double round robin, Illya Nyzhnyk was the only player to win today. The other 2 games were draws. On Friday, May 19th, we'll see if a player can break away from the pack as Nyzhnyk takes on Rufeng Li and Sevian takes on board 2. Stay with us through Wednesday, May 24th, as every round begins at 1 p.m. with the exception of the final day. See the move by move live as it happens at chess24.com and uschesschamps.com.